I made a reaction and review video for Batwoman Season 1, Episode 1. In short, I hated the show and thought it deserved a rewrite. This is that rewrite, and I hope you all enjoy. This story is based on the Batwoman character in the movie Batman Bad Blood, the animated DC movie. We see Kate Kane living a traditional life, from going to work to going home. There is a simple dialogue only given to side characters from work and those she comes into contact with. From our Facebook account has been bleeding subscribers to I can't believe Rachel would think that was a good idea. Dialogue is quick as we are living over her shoulder for a brief montage of a daily life for her. A quick montage for about 5 minutes. After her workday, she heads to the parking garage to get into her car. Thugs were looking for trouble and she gets mugged, but quickly deters the assailants by whipping out her gun, John Wick style. All of them run except for one. In a panic, he pulls out his gun and Kate shoots him 3 times. She talks to the police and we zoom in on her, silencing the noise around her as we hear military combat in her head. She heads home and is greeted by her girlfriend in her apartment. Asleep on her back, Kate is having a nightmare of the event from earlier today. After the 3rd bullet is fired, with an overlaid voice from a prior military event as well, she wakes up in a sweat. We vaguely see her girlfriend in her bed as well. Kate heads to the kitchen for some water, and her girlfriend comes in to comfort her and asks her to come back to bed. As they go back to bed, sirens are alarmed outside faintly. Kate looks out the window on a rainy night. Streams of water pour down the glass. She puts her arm on the window and asks, "Where are you, Batman?" The rain on the glass pans to the next morning with her arriving at the gun range, with a few of her ex-military buddies there too. She becomes troubled and worries about the things in her life while she loads her gun. She remembers her army days with brief flashbacks. But the moment she has her target in the distance, she takes a deep breath. On her exhale, she unloads her clip without hesitation. We pan over to the target. Her spread is tight, hitting center mass. After she is done and is packing up, putting her equipment in her car and saying goodbye to her friends, she gets a call from her dad to meet her at a local diner that they both know very well. She reluctantly says yes. She walks through the door and her father is ecstatic to see her, but she is emotionally distant. He already ordered food for her, but it's been so long she doesn't like that food anymore, creating an awkward moment for the both of them. They talk as though they haven't seen or talked to each other in over a decade. They come to an argument about her life choices. The father is seen as intolerant to Kate, but the father is trying to express his concern without offense. She leaves a few bucks for the meal, gets up, begrudgingly thanks her father, and walks out. After she leaves, her father eats his meal alone and in silence. After he's done, he puts the other meal in a box to take home for his wife, writing his wife's name on the box. He leaves a tip, gets up, and walks home. As he walks home, there is a noisy protest up ahead. He sees the commotion and decides to walk the other way. He notices a few young deviants harassing a woman, and she yells for them to stop. The father rushes over to them to try and stop them, with food in his hand, focused solely on intervening. The father can hold his own for a brief moment, distancing the deviants from the woman, before being shot by a member of the group. The shot of the gun scares all the members to flee the scene. As the woman calls for help, police are fortunately nearby. The woman was Kate's girlfriend. When Kate arrives at the hospital to see her father, he is laying on the bed passed out. Kate meets her girlfriend, who is surprised as well. She explained to Kate that her father saved her. Kate grabs onto her father's, her girlfriend's, and mother's hand all together. Kate spends the night in the hospital until the next morning, awaiting for the status of her father's surgery. She paces back and forth while he's unconscious. Kate naps on her father's bedside, and her father pats her on the head. They share a beautiful moment between father and daughter. She apologizes for her behavior, and he apologizes to her as well. She asks about what happened, if he could remember. He vaguely remembers the details, but enough to remind her of the punks that tried to mug her from earlier. She goes into a puzzled frenzy before being snapped out of it by her father's question if she was all right. She shrugs it off her shoulder and then continues to talk with him throughout the night. As he goes to sleep, Kate heads off. While she drives, she's thinking, and then arrives at her personal garage. She locks and loads clips and pistols all on her. She dresses up in black and goes out that same night. Her girlfriend calls and Kate replies with, "I'm just out relieving some stress. I'll be back later. Don't wait up. Okay. Bye." Dressed in all black, she's strapped to the teeth with pistols and she goes out on the prowl. Hours go by as she patiently waits and listens for activity. At midnight, she eventually finds the thugs dealing drugs on a corner. She attacks first, injuring all of them, coming over to pistol whip another for information. During her successful Q&A with the thugs, guns fire and bullets go past her. She gets grazed by a few bullets, it interrupts her, and then she runs behind cover. She is crying behind a dumpster as their boss comes over and shoots their guys in the face. She heads off bloodied and in tears, fortunately without the drug dealers aware of her position. Kate's girlfriend wakes up from the sound of her shower running and light on in the bathroom. She opens the door to find Kate in full clothes, bloodied with the shower running, cowering. She rushes to Kate and holds her head and presses her head against her breasts. Kate cuddles up around her girlfriend and the camera pans out of the shower overhead, rocking Kate for comfort. Scene, roll credits. Now, the point of this screenwrite was to demonstrate that shows need to be flushed out. I'm not saying that this screenwrite's going to be winning any award anytime soon, but it's the first episode. We get some struggle and we get some insight on what's going on with the main character. In the first episode of the CW Batwoman, we get a fully fledged movie, cut down to 42 minutes. She becomes a fully realized superhero in the first episode, which took Daredevil and Arrow more than one season to do. There are many renditions of the Batwoman plot and many stories that can be told. How did you like this screenplay? What did you like or dislike about it? And with that being said, please post your comments, questions, and concerns right down below. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button as that will greatly help this channel out. And most importantly, I'll see you next time.